the Fighting Gamecocks of South Carolina heading to
Ooh.
Mercedes-Benz Stadium there in Atlanta to take on the former Beamer Balls of Virginia Tech there. Yes, Will's acting a fool right
Gamecock
now. If you're
country.
still watching, Will's throwing a party in his closet. This is why we saved this one for towards the end of the show, though, for sure.
They're
So,
still
Will,
watching.
yeah, Will, tell me. You got to start us off on this one. Tell me about South Carolina, Virginia Tech. How are we feeling about the game, bud?
I'm feeling scared actually because I know South Carolina football and they've let me down so many times before. 2023, they played North Carolina week 1 in a neutral site game, coming off of a good season in 2022, and then they lost. So I'm scared, but at the same time, you gotta be feeling optimistic as a Gamecock fan. After what happened last year, Lenora Sellers coming back, Heisman Trophy contender. Yeah, I'm just looking forward to seeing what the Gamecocks can do.
Yeah, it's. I think it's a very interesting matchup here because I don't think a lot of people pay attention to Virginia Tech, and as they shouldn't, because Virginia Tech's not good. South Carolina is going to dominate this game physically. They're going to run the ball right down Virginia Tech's throat. They're going to dominate this game, I think, from start to finish. But let's talk a little bit about South Carolina because I know it all starts and ends with Lenore Sellers, but I think the defensive side of the ball is what I'm going to be most intrigued about. How do you replace all of those guys you lost to the NFL? Now, I give South Carolina all the credit in the world. What Shane Beamer is doing there is working because he is taking kids, and these aren't your 5-star prototypical guys that are going first round no matter where they go, right? These are kids that they're developing in house, and what a recruiting pitch that is last year to show everybody that you can go out there and develop talent. Because that's what South Carolina's always going to have to do. They're not going to go out there and sign top 5 recruiting classes every year. So showing people you can develop talent, I think, is a huge factor. But this is going to be the year where we're going to see if that development was real or you just got a light at the end of the rainbow type situation last year with that defense, and they were just really good. So I'm looking forward to watching how this defensive line plays, the linebackers, and the secondary of that defense because they lost a lot, Will.
Yeah, but it feels like that's the story for South Carolina football every year. There's a lot of turnover on this roster. You've had some of their top players transferring to other schools. You've had players lost to the draft. So, yeah, they lost a lot. But, I mean, Beamer has a good track record. Beamer and that coaching staff of developing talent. And I'll be interested to see what happens. Big unanswered question for South Carolina is wide receivers, right? We talk about Lenora Sellers being so great. Who's he going to throw it to this year? I feel like those are some unanswered questions still.
Yeah, and this is a big one for South Carolina. Like, you know, from being a South Carolina fan, their schedule is probably unmatched by anybody every single year. So there's games like this where I think South Carolina is the favorite, as they should be. I think they're the way better team here. But this is a game you have to win. And I feel like this is a game to kind of kick off the season that you need to go out there and kind of make your mark that you can keep up what you did last year. And last year wasn't just catching lightning in a bottle, per se. Can Lenoris take that next step and get better as a passer? Are those receivers going to help him out? There's a lot of names out there, a lot of people looking towards Nick Harbor as being that impact guy this year, but we're talking about a guy who has never had more than 400 receiving yards in a season while he's been at South Carolina. So can you rely on him? I think if South Carolina is going to want to get where they're going to go, it's going to take a miraculous effort from that wide receiver core to give Lenoris the weapons to where they can show people that they can throw the ball consistently. Because when you get in the SEC play, the defenses get better, the athletes get better, and Lenoris is great, but this is a year they have film on him, and will we see a sophomore slump from him? That's to be decided.
Yeah, you mentioned the schedule earlier. As crazy as it is to say, if South Carolina doesn't get through the month of September 5-0, Gamecock fans got to be getting ready for what you'd think would be a letdown of a season just because of how tough that schedule is on the back end. So this one against Virginia Tech, you got to get this one to achieve your goals.
For sure. And this was a team that was middle of the pack offensively last year. I think they're going to make a jump this year offensively and be better than they were last year. But do you match that with sliding defensively? This is a team that was top 15 unit last year. Are they going to be a top 15 unit again this year, replacing all those guys? Probably not. But can you be in that 20 to 30 range? Can you be consistently good enough and maybe match that better offensive production this year? Do you see any way that maybe Virginia Tech sneaks one in here and gets South Carolina here in Atlanta?
Oh, I think it's going to be a close game that comes down to the last 2 minutes just because I don't trust South Carolina, man. It just is my experience as a Gamecock fan. I saw that opener against Old Dominion last year that came down to the fourth quarter. And, I mean, we know how good the 2024 Gamecocks were. So I think it's going to be a close game, but South Carolina still give them the edge.
Yeah, this one kind of reminds me. I remember, I don't remember exactly what year it was, but I remember going up to Charlotte one year and watching South Carolina and North Carolina play in the little kickoff game. And it kind of had the same feel, right? South Carolina fans were feeling good. Progress was being made there, and North Carolina just came in there and dominated them. I don't see it, though, Will. So South Carolina's favored in this game by 8 right now, and that line's probably going to continue to go up, I would think, the closer we get to Sunday. And I got to say, I think South Carolina's going to dominate. I think Lenore Sellers is going to have just continue right where he left off last year and have a dominating performance. But I'm with you, man. I want to see these receivers go out there. I want to see somebody go out there and have a 100-yard, 2-touchdown game and kind of show me that they can do it. You know, they got big news today by getting their running back eligible, so that'll be a big boost to the offense as well. I think the offensive line is a lot better than it was last year. You have a lot of guys returning on the offensive line, so offensively, I think they're going to be better, and I don't think the defense is going to drop off significantly, and I really think South Carolina is going to dominate this game. I could see this game being in the 3-score range, honestly.
Well, that wouldn't hurt my feelings if you're right and I'm not. Give me a break from the cardiac cocks.
So are we picking South Carolina, though? We're still picking South Carolina to win, though, right?
South Carolina's going to win. I just think it'll be Virginia Tech covers. Is that the saying?
That is the same.
Okay. I'm learning.